Hey, they said they were going to the Twin Cities.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, is that useful to you?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Fargo.
He's a poet. Well, let me tell you what rhymes with gondolia. No mirror.
Everyone says I love you.
Why you so determined to keep me alive?
Because I'm a nurse.
The English Patient. What do these three films have in common? They've made either Roger's or mine or both of our 10 best films of the year lists. And we'll be revealing those lists on this special edition of Siskel and Ebert, a show with a fistful of thumbs up. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Let's start out with the number 10 movie on my list, a wonderfully well-written drama about a little Italian restaurant that was failing, maybe because the owners were better cooks than they were businessmen. The name of the movie was Big Night, and it starred Stanley Tucci and Tony Shalhoub as Secundo and Primo, two brothers who desperately hope that their restaurant can be saved. Rival restaurant owner Ian Holmes suggests that having a celebrity guest might make all the difference.
Let's be with Louis Prima. You know him, right?
Oh, sure.
Buonasera, buonasera, signorina. Oh, yeah. Louis Prima's a big jazz guy. I love Louis Prima. Friend of mine. He's in town next week. You cook for him. Eh? For his band. On a night off. Then who knows, the word that gets around.
The film is about cuisine and romance and loyalty and the hard, cold facts of both love and business. Was Ian Holmes' character doing them a favor or playing a cruel trick? I found myself involved in the personalities of the characters and fascinated by the details of the jobs they were doing, how their work and their lives really amounted to the same thing.
Yes, we always complain on this show that we don't see enough of people at work.
Yeah.
And this film does it, and it takes it. It finds character in the work, which we know is obviously true. Mm-hmm. People spend 8 hours a day working. Of course, they're going to reveal themselves in important ways at work. The other thing is, I like the understated way the relationship between the two brothers is put there. In a traditional Hollywood film, one guy would be just all one way, and he'd be the neat one or the messy one, that kind of. Mm-hmm. This film, you're always wondering, what is the nature of their relationship?
Yeah, this is not an odd couple type of relationship.
Exactly.
This is a relationship where the two guys obviously shared a very tight childhood together and now trying to work together and loving each other, they're still faced with this impossible situation.
It's a very good film. It made my runners-up list of the 10 best. Next up is number 10 on my list, the sexy comic thriller Bound, in which fresh out of jail Gina Gershon catches the eye and heart of a mobster's seemingly ditzy girlfriend, Jennifer Tilly, when she's hired to renovate the apartment next door. Gershon proceeds to romance Tilly and hatches a plot to steal millions of dollars that belong to the mob.
When I get the scotch, how do I know you won't just take off?
The same way I'll know that you went to go get the scotch. Trust.
I still don't see how I'm going to get away clean with all the money in the apartment. Everyone's going to think I took it.
Now, this is a very intricate story that works like clockwork, and the action is sexually hot and utterly logical. A great script by the writer-director team of Larry and Andy Wachowski. Bound. I don't think enough people saw the picture.
No,
this should be a big renter.
I would only change one word in their wonderful script, the title, because I don't think people could remember it. I think that quite frequently when you have one-word titles, people can never quite get a handle on it. In fact, I could make a whole list of titles where you can't remember what the movie referred to. And in this case, with a better title, more people might have gone because
The Woman Next Door. How about The Woman Next Door?
Well, that's a wonderful title, Gene. Just a wonderful title. Well, it's certainly better than the one they have. Okay. And the way that the movie gets so much suspense going in addition to the passion, and the way it's also done in a slapstick sort of way with people running in and out of rooms just like the Marx Brothers in a hotel corridor, and at the same time all of this bloody kind of stuff and the bodies in the bathtub, the way they're able to juggle all of those things together is fabulous.
I mentioned this in the first time I reviewed the picture, the timing, so that it's slowed down when there's a switch or a double back in the story, so that you have the time to think, hey, you know what? I either can't figure it out, or Yeah, that's logical. That really would work. They've set it up. No false moves in this story.
I liked it even more than you did. I put it number 6 on my list. When we come back, we go higher up on our list of the best movies of 1996.
On the top 10 films of 1996, my number 8 choice among the year's best pictures is about adolescence. Welcome to the Dollhouse, written and directed by Todd Solondz, about the terrifying time an 11-year-old girl has with her family and with her classmates.
Hi, Dawn. Sorry to bother you, but we were just wondering, are you a lesbian? Well, are you?
No. Liar. She made a pass at me.
And that's Heather Matarazzo as Dawn, and the story, which has its funny moments, turns into a very thoughtful examination of how children can be bullied into abusing themselves, really, if you think about it, through peer pressure and family pressure. Welcome to the Dollhouse is a special, gutsy movie about young people.
It sure is. It's even higher on my list. It's number 5 on my list, and I hope this is a movie that people look for on video because it remembers exactly how painful it was to be in junior high school and how cruel these people can be to each other and how kids can delude themselves because they don't really know what's happening, these changes that go on
certainly
inside.
Don't.
And the other fascinating thing, though, about this movie and several of the films we've had this year is that for all of this heavy material that's going on, it's also sometimes a comedy. They find a way to get laughs in at the same time so that we smile along with her even as we suffer along with her.
You know, I think it's because the person making this film realizes that outwardly there's drama in the outward appearance of funny stuff. I mean, Dawn, you know, to laugh at Dawn, and we all laughed at the Dawns in our school if we weren't the Dawns ourselves.
Every Dawn had another Dawn that she could laugh at.
And at the same time, what would motivate, that isn't enough to make you to feel, I'm going to make a movie about this. No, you go to the deeper level, and there is great pain there.
Absolutely. Next movie, and my next title, is the number 8 film on my list, Woody Allen's lovable and charming new musical, Everyone Says I Love You.
Don't forget, folks, that's what you get, folks, for making whoopee, just for making whoopee.
One of the love stories involves Alan on vacation in Venice, who encounters Julia Roberts during a morning jogging session and tries awkwardly to make small talk with the goddess.
You got to keep in shape. I jog every day. You?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you're an American?
Yeah,
It's a great country, isn't it?
it's beautiful.
The mountains and the prairies.
Oh, yeah, American. Yeah.
You're going to wipe your phone and everything?
The cast also includes Alan Alda, Edward Norton, Drew Barrymore, and many others, including Goldie Hawn, who plays Alan's former wife and stars with him in a pas de deux on the banks of the River Seine that is one of the most magical sequences I've seen in the movies. They dance in a way that defies gravity, and not as a stunt, but almost as if their reverie has temporarily put the laws of physics on hold. Woody Allen has made a lot of good films, but Everyone Says I Love You is, I think, his most nearly perfect.
Well, that's the part I really can't handle. I mean, Annie Hall and Manhattan, I think, are far superior. And I wanted to like this picture very much. I love musicals, and certainly Woody Allen has the intelligence to make a great one. I don't think this is it. I felt that he was straining to force musical numbers every time I saw them pop up, even though Alan Alda does sing well, and so does Goldie Hawn.
Like,
if it's done sing
the hospital scene, you didn't like that?
No.
I'm astonished, Gene.
No. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the way it's done.
There's nothing wrong with it, but there's a lot right with it.
I didn't think it was that special.
Coming up next, more of the year's best films. On this annual show, Gene and I both pick our top 10 films of the year, and number 7 on my list is Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet, the first full-length film version of Shakespeare's most challenging play. The movie is filled with both visual and verbal riches as Branagh benefits by using scenes that are often cut on the stage, but add background and context to the story. For example, in this version, much more weight is given to Claudius, the king, played here by Derek Jacobi, who seems more like a real ruler and not simply like a villain who has married Hamlet's mother too soon after her husband's death.
Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet's, it's smiling to my heart. In grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell. And the king's rouse, the heavens shall brew it again. We speak in earthly thunder. Come, away.
Branagh shot a lot of the film on location in Blenheim Palace in England, where the court occupies a space of dark corridors and secret chambers, hidden doorways, and two-way mirrors, all adding up to an air of conspiracy as Hamlet seeks revenge for his father's death. This is a great film, and it's great Shakespeare.
It sure is wonderful. There are a few little trouble spots with some of the casting, the Hollywood casting that seems pointless. I think Branagh pushes himself in the upper registers a little too much when he's speaking, but those are minor quibbles. He has taken on a major project. It is a great play, obviously, and his is equal to it. And again, you have a sense of watching history. The physical work that is done in directing this picture is as astonishing as the length of the film or that.
And, another astonishing thing about the length is that it doesn't seem that long because there is so much going on and there's such energy and joy in the forward momentum of the film that it just carries you straight through.
I like to go into movies and see them as events. So if I know I'm going to see a 4-hour picture with an intermission, I'm excited. I'm not turned off by that. My next choice, number 6 on my list, also a Shakespeare film. But it's more of an original creation than an adaptation. It's a documentary called Looking for Richard about Al Pacino putting on a production of Richard III. But before he shows us selected scenes from the play, he takes us on a world tour of Shakespeare fans, scholars, and actors who fill us in on the actual history of Richard III and the difficulties of understanding Shakespeare.
Now, if Richard's brother Edward was king, right, and then he dies, Clarence, his other brother, is next in line, right?
No, the kids were next in line. And after the king's kids came Clarence.
So Richard figured, let me get rid of Clarence, and then I'll work out how I get rid of the kids.
And we also get to see Pacino and Winona Ryder in a great romantic scene from the play. I found this whole enterprise to be a wonderful teaching tool about Shakespeare, as well as a great way to present any one of his plays. Al Pacino's acting has gotten a little broad lately, but he's done a great service to Shakespeare and to the craft of acting as the director of the most remarkable Looking for Richard.
I thought it was a really wonderful movie, too. I'm not sure it was the best documentary of the year. I would have put Heidi Fleiss and Paradise Lost above this on my list of documentaries, although as a consideration of Shakespeare, it was a wonderful job of work.
It does teach us how to... Would you love to see this done for every single play? Wouldn't young
I'd
people...
like to have it, yeah. It would warm me up and give me a good running start. Coming up next, more of the year's best films.
Moving up on our list of the best films of 1996, my number 4 choice is The English Patient, a supremely intelligent epic that recalls such films as Dr. Zhivago and Lawrence of Arabia by having as great a panorama and as intense a love affair. Before World War II begins, a mapmaker has an affair with a colleague's wife, an affair that will have great consequences over the next few years.
It's beautiful. It's too bad.
Cell means love. And the story, well, there's this Hungarian count. He's a wanderer, he's a fool. And for years he's on some kind of a quest, or who knows what. And then one day he falls under the spell of a mysterious English woman, a harpy, who beats him and hits him, and he becomes her slave, and he sews her clothes. Worships. Stop.
That's Ralph Fiennes, and Kristen Scott Thomas is one of the year's most exciting couples in a story that finds as much drama in the battle for survival of two people as in the war itself.
It's a wonderful film. It's one of my runners-up. It didn't quite make my top 10, but I agree with you basically about the look of the film in particular. Those desert scenes are magnificent. The way the sand is photographed there, it makes you think of Lawrence of Arabia, which is very high praise. My number 4 film is Lone Star, and this is the best film ever made by the independent American filmmaker John Sayles, who also wrote its script, an ambitious script that spans 3 generations and shows how old hurts and wounds have altered the history of a Texas border town. Chris Cooper stars as a sheriff who discovers that his father may have murdered a predecessor, and perhaps with very good reason.
Buddy Deeds was a murderer. That night at the cafe, he didn't stay long after you left, did he, Hollis? And maybe he decided he'd gone too far with Wade. Maybe he figured he'd better not wait for the sheriff to get behind him. So he stepped out to see if he could catch up. And you were here at the club that night. Weren't you, O?
I was here.
Watching Lone Star is a genuine pleasure, a reminder of how well-told stories and well-drawn characters are so rare in today's formula films. Congratulations to John Sayles.
Yes, it is his best work. This was number 5 on my list. I admire it very much. And again, the craft of storytelling.
Yes.
You just know that he put as much effort into plotting out how this story was going to twist and turn as he did in the writing of, what they do today. Snappy dialogue, one-liners, rim shots. This is a very fine text.
And with the finest, the funniest in its own way, last line since Some Like It Hot.
It's pretty good.
The more you think about it. Next up, our choices for the very best films of 1996. Now it's time for both Gene and I to reveal our choices for the best film of 1996. And for me, that would clearly be Fargo by the Coen brothers, a movie that worked on so many levels, it was a little like a film festival all of its own. It starred Frances McDormand and William H. Macy in two of the best performances of the year as a pregnant Minnesota police chief and the very, very nervous car salesman who was connected, although McDormand doesn't know it yet, to the disappearance of his own wife.
The car's not from our lot, ma'am.
But how do you know that for sure without doing a...
Well, I would know. I'm the executive sales manager.
Yeah, but I understand.
We run a pretty tight ship here.
I know, but... Well, how do they establish that, sir? I mean, are the cars counted daily, or what kind of a routine here?
Ma'am, I answered your question.
I'm sorry, sir?
Ma'am, I answered your question. I answered the darn... I'm cooperating here, and there's no...
Sir, you have no call to get snippy with me. I'm just doing my job here.
Fargo was a comedy and a melodrama and a human interest picture. It was tender and sweet, and it was also violent and bloody. And in Frances McDormand's police chief, it had one of the most unforgettable characters I've ever seen, a woman who in her own down-to-earth way applies herself to a crime. She may be a woman, she may be pregnant, but she handles it very well. Thank you very much. Fargo was the year's best film.
Well, Roger, back in January, you might remember this, when we first reviewed Fargo, I went way out on a limb and said to the audience and to each other, you won't see a better picture this year. And I was right, Roger. It's happened about a half dozen times before in our 21 years together. We have picked the very same film as number 1. I have seen Fargo 4 times. I could see it every week. It is a film festival, and it is among my all-time favorite motion pictures. I hope it wins the Oscar for Best Picture of the Year. It has unforgettable characters, as you mentioned, and a great distinctive look. And it also has scenes that come way out of left field, like this encounter between Frances McDormand's character and a man she went to high school with.
Are you down here on that homicide, if you're allowed to, to discuss that?
Oh, yeah, but there's not a heck of a lot to discuss.
Okay.
Well, what about you, Mike? Are you married? You got kids?
Yeah, well, I was married. I was married to... You mind if I sit over here? I was married to Linda Cooksey.
No, why don't you sit over there? I prefer that.
Huh? Okay. Sorry.
Oh, no, just so I can see you. Don't have to turn my neck.
Oh, sure. I understand.
And what this guy is really about is tops even what you've just seen there. So it is a totally How do you pick the number 1 picture? You pick something that's totally original. You can't think of anything quite like it.
And that's the scene, Gene, that so many people question. What was that scene doing in the movie? Because they've been so brainwashed by these assembly line movies where every scene you know what it's doing there because you've seen it in 100 other movies.
Because it has to be there.
This one you hadn't seen before. It didn't have to be there unless the movie wanted to be great instead of just okay.
You got it.
Okay, now Gene and I are both going to give our full list of the year's best films. Number 10 on my list, Big Night, directed by Campbell Scott and Stanley Tucci. Number 9, Heidi Fleiss, the year's best documentary, with a stranger-than-fiction story of the Hollywood madam and the sinister figures behind her scandal. Number 8, Woody Allen's Everyone Says I Love You. Number 7, Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet. Number 6, Bound by Larry and Andy Wachowski. Number 5 on my list, Welcome to the Dollhouse, directed and written by Todd Solondz. 4th on the list, John Sayles' Lone Star. Number 3, Mike Leigh's daring family drama, Secrets and Lies. Number 2, Lars von Trier's visionary Breaking the Waves, with a great Oscar-caliber performance by Emily Watson as a young Scottish woman who loves her man so much she hopes for a miracle. And number 1, the best film of the year on my list, Fargo, by the Coen brothers.
And now for my list of the top films of 1996. Number 10, Bound by the Wachowski brothers. Number 9, Kingpin, the year's funniest movie, a laugh riot, directed by Peter and Bobby Farrelly. Number 8 on my list, Todd Solond's Welcome to the Dollhouse. Number 7, the documentary Paradise Lost by Joe Berlinger and Bruce Sinofsky about a murder trial that could have possibly gone terribly wrong. Number 6, another terrific documentary, Al Pacino's Looking for Richard. Number 5, Lone Star by John Sayles. Number 4, Anthony Minghella, The English Patient. Number 3, Breaking the Waves, directed by Lars von Trier. Number 2, Mike Leigh's Secrets and Lies. And my number 1 pick of the year, Fargo, by the Coen brothers. I wish they made a movie a week. Our lives would be so much better.
All I have to say, Gene, is when we disagree, one of us is wrong, but when we agree, both of us are right.
Excellent logic.
Thank you. If you'd like another look at our 10 best lists, they're on the World Wide Web at www.siskel-ebert.com.
Hey, and dot and dash yourself to see Fargo on videotape. That's it for this special show. Next week, we'll be back with our annual Worst Films of the Year show, in which we get revenge. We roast some of the biggest time wasters, brain-dead pictures of 1996. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
Think you'll rent a movie in 1997? You'll want the brand new 97 edition of Roger Ebert's Video Companion. It comes with a separate pocket video guide.